Hey guys, welcome back to Exotic Car DIY. So today I finally get to do some maintenance on a W213 E63. So 212 guys, don't get worried. I still got my car back there. It's not going anywhere for a while, but eventually one of these is in my future. They are just amazing cars. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, check it out. I do a lot of maintenance on cars that people say normal people can't work on, and I'm here to show you that normal people can work on them. So today we're going to be doing an oil change. Be sure to check the description for all the part numbers, any updates or anything like that. And anyway, let's go and get started because it's pretty easy job. So Mercedes says that you do need to have the oil up to temp when you drain it. I guess the theory behind that is there is a thermostat in the oil system that routes it through the cooler. So when that thermostat is open, you're going to get more of the oil draining out. Now let's talk about the super advanced tools you're going to need to do this job. The only one you actually might not have is the 24 millimeter for the oil filter. You're going to need an 8 millimeter, either Allen or socket key, 13 millimeter, and that is literally all the tools you need in addition to be able to get it up in the air. 9.5 quarts of your favorite synthetic. You can either use 5W40 or 0W40, I think are both the recommended oils. And then you'll need a filter. I'll show you here in a second. This is a MAN, this is a Mercedes, and this is a Hanks. They're all exactly the same filter. These two are cheaper than that one. And here, let me show you something. So here's all three filters out of the box. You can actually say the MAN one says Hanks right there. The Mercedes one says Hanks right there. And of course, the Hanks one says Hanks on it too. So they're all the same filter. And if you're a 212 guy, they're all 212 filters too. That uses the exact same filter, M177, M157, all the same filter. All right, so first thing we need to do is just take off the splash shields. So this is a 13 millimeter. And just be careful, some of them are a little bit longer than the other ones. All right, now with the splash shield off, we can see this is where our filter is. And right here is our drain plug. And so all we got to do is just undo these, change the filter out, and let it go. But one word of caution, it will come out very, very fast. So just watch out. Make sure you have your drain pan ready. We're going to use a 24 millimeter on the filter. And be careful, especially if you're using hot oil. It's going to come out all over the place. Have a rag ready. Hey, and one quick edit here. There's actually a tiny drain plug on the bottom of the oil filter cap that gives you the option to drain it out of the oil filter cap so you don't spill lava hot oil all over your hands. Lava. All right, now you're going to use an 8 millimeter on this plastic drain plug. Just be gentle with it, and again, it's going to come out fast and hot. There we go. Obviously, make sure you have a big enough drain pan because it would be pretty bad if it just started pouring out. Anyway, we'll go ahead and let this drain for about 20 or 30 minutes because I like to get every little last drop out. And while it's out, you can do kind of just a one over of the car, just look over it. We're actually going to take this off and check the rear main on this to make sure it doesn't have any signs of seepage. We kind of just check everything else out. All right, so while the oil pan is draining, I went over here and just checked the rest of stuff on the car. It's common for the rear main seal to go on these, and you can see this one is completely dry. And just as a kind of interesting stuff come from 212, you look right there where the exhaust manifold is, and you got plastic because the intake's there. The downpipes come from way up there because the turbos are in the valley. So it's just cool to see the differences between, you know, the 212 and the 213. There's a lot of similarities, but then again, a lot of updated stuff. All right, now it's time to swap out the filter. So we got the new one here. Simply pops off, and then it's a good idea just to clean this up real good. Now, as you can see, the new filters come with an O-ring. All we got to do is just pop the old one off carefully. Install the new O-ring on. Make sure there is just a little bit of oil on the O-ring so it slides in nicely. But I do like to clean up the threads just in case you don't get any seepage. So then the new filter installs with the, I guess the spines down, just clicks in place and you can go ahead and install back on the car. All right, so we're gonna use a clean rag and just make sure that there's no dirt on here, kind of wipe off any residue oil. Always make sure you're being very clean. So now it's time to put the filter back in there. If you're curious about what the torque specs are, so they actually put them right on here for you. So there you go, torque it to spec. Now honestly, most of these are just basically hand tight. but just in case, here's a torque wrench, 25 Newton meters. All right, so now we've let it drip for about 25 minutes, and pretty much everything that's gonna come out is gonna come out. Again, this thing's plastic, so you're not really looking to crank anything down. In fact, it just basically clicks into place. That's it. And then just because there's a lot of residue oil, I just kind of like to do a quick spray, and that way you won't get any random drips that scare you later. All right, so now after we put the splash shields back on, we're done up on the bottom. All we got to do is put oil on the top and then reset the indicator. Now back up on top, we got to put the oil in there. You don't really need to, but I'll just show you. If you want to put the hood in service mode, there's a button here, just like on the 212 you push, but this one, push the button, and then the hood slides up to a higher level, just to give you a little bit more room. All right, now with a clean funnel, we're going to add in the oil. It takes 9.5 quarts of your favorite oil. I'm not going to get into an oil debate here, but I don't think you can go wrong with using exactly what they recommend. Unfortunately, these don't have a regular dipstick. They like the E63. You've got to check them on the dash. So anyway, manual calls for 9, so that's what we're going to put in. All right, so now to reset the oil life indicator, what you're going to want to do, close the door. You're going to want to push the ignition one time without hitting the brake. So now what we're going to want to do, you want to have the mileage up here. Hold down this button for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then tap this. That puts you into the, I guess the service data mode. Use the black button to scroll down to assist plus, tap it. Okay, it wants us to hit the ignition button one more time. Again, no brake. All right, so now you have 2 different menus here. Service data is just going to tell you what services do. So this says service code A is next. We don't really need to know that right now. Service, full service. So if you click this, it tells you what services are due. So right now we have service 1 and 3. If you look in the description, I list all of what those mean. You'll notice that the oil change service is not on here, and the reason it isn't there is because we're changing it way early. They want you to go 10,000 miles. I like to change mine a lot sooner, so this is after 5,000 miles. Anyway, yours might have more. It all depends on what they are. They might be filters, they might be cabin filters, they might be inspections, and obviously oil. So we're gonna go scroll down here to confirm service. It'll say, did you do it? Yes, we did. Hit yes. And then it just says, yeah, you can't back up. Once you reset this, it's reset. So then hit confirm, and then we're all done. And that is how you do an oil change on the E63, guys.